and welcome to the show. Today I want to talk about the last 5 books that I read. Figured I'd try to do little mini reviews, not really try to spoil anything, but just go over some things while they're fresh in my head. First thing that I want to show is I Travel by Night by Robert McCammon. McCammon is my favorite writer. He is just an awesome storyteller. I've not read anything that I haven't liked by his. And this goes back to early teen years. I pulled Blue World off of a book rack and it's a short story collection, and I immediately fell in love and had to check out everything that he wrote. And here lately he's been kind of cranking some things out, so I'm pretty far behind. But this was a short read. It's a novella. It's a first in a series. It's very short, quick, very cinematic, fast-paced. This one is not my favorite. It's kind of over before it begins, kind of one of those deals. You learn the origin of Trevor Lawson. He's basically a vampire gunslinger bounty hunter. He doesn't want to be a vampire. He's hunting the people that turned him. And it's good, but it's not great. And when I finished it, it was left wanting more. So I immediately picked up the second book in the series, Last Train from Perdition. This book is leaps and bounds better, and I think it's because he got the origin out of the way, and you got the premise out of the way, and now he can get into like the meat of the story. And this one is really cool. This one introduces some new characters, all of whom you can immediately picture everything. And the storyline is everything's meatier. It's just really, really good. And when you get to the ending, you get to the climax, something awesome happens, and you're like, crap, I've got to find out what happens next. And I don't think that he's written the next book yet. I'm not sure. Maybe he has. Maybe it's not out yet. I haven't researched it. But I really hope we see more of Trevor Lawson and the cast that expands in the second book. Highly, highly recommend those. Like I said, the first one, it's just kind of enough to get you going. But then the second book, it really starts to take off. Next thing I want to talk about is Taskmaster, The Right Price. It's a trade paperback, and it collects 2 arcs of the Taskmaster story. Taskmaster's a B villain. He's kind of been an Avengers thorn in their side for a long time. I tend to gravitate towards B characters, ones that aren't in every single story arc, and you don't have to find every little thing out about them. What's really cool about Taskmaster is he is open to a lot of interpretations. The first interpretation in this book is the style is very kind of anime-ish. Just getting a glare there. And it's a cool story. He's the main character, but he's still a villain, so he's kind of anti-hero. And it's a pretty good story. The second part of this gets into kind of more of an espionage tale, spy tale, and it is really, really, really well done and cool. And there's a lot of quirky characters in it, a lot of new characters and new factions that are made up specifically to this story. And I really can't recommend the second half of this enough. It's wild. There's like Hitler clones, and I don't know. It's just insane. And I loved it. And I have all of these in singles. I really, really wanted to read them again in this format. And trades are way, way easier to read. And I really think comic books are meant to be read in trade style. It's so hard to pull one out and wait a month for the next installment. This is really the way to go with those. Next thing I read, this was a gift from Lost Cunningham, is The Funhouse by Owen West, aka Dean Koontz. And it says it's based on the screenplay by Larry Block. So The Funhouse is a Tobe Hooper movie from the early 80s, if anybody's interested in that. It's a really cool movie. This book is totally different from the movie. Probably the whole movie is probably in the last 10 pages of this book. So you're getting a whole different take on the characters and events leading up to what happens in the movies. And I really like that about it. It makes it like a complete different experience from watching the movie. So it's like I got two Funhouse experiences. The only thing I didn't like about it is that there's kind of no payoff to everything that happens in the beginning. There's a lot to do with the character's mother. And when the book ends, it's the end of the movie. It's done and over. And you don't find out, you never get a confrontation with the main character and her mother, who has made her endure all these horrific things. And that was kind of unfortunate. I think they missed an opportunity there to go back full circle to what happened at the beginning of this tale. And the last thing I read was The Complete Skrull Kill Crew. And this is by two of like the big giants in the industry, Grant Morrison and Mark Millar. Well, some of it is. It starts out with them, and then it devolves into, I don't know. I did not care for this. I like the premise and the setup. If you know anything about the Skrulls and the Fantastic Four and kind of what happened to the original Skrulls, it has a really funny setup. Basically, Reed Richards hypnotized these Skrulls into shape-changing into cows, and they just left them as cows. Well, fast forward to years later, the cows get taken off to market, and they end up as hamburger, and the people that eat the cows get Skrull shape-shifting powers, but they also basically comes with a death sentence. They know they're going to die in a certain amount of time, so they start killing Skrulls left and right to, I don't know, get some revenge before they pass away. Unfortunately, they never die, and there's no consequences to anything, and I just did not like it. So I would not recommend this. I got this for really cheap at Ollie's. It was like $7 at Ollie's, and it's a good size graphic novel, and it's got everything in it. I just didn't care for it. So probably a no on that one. Yes on this one. Good companion piece for the movie. Two totally different experiences. 100% yes on this one. Definitely check this out. Especially the, I think his name's Fred Van Lente. His part of this is really great. And then absolutely check these out. Or maybe wait until that third one comes out, because I really wish I had it right now. So until next time, stay afraid.